to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
We're getting closer.
Yes, we are.
And we're what now? We're like less than a week until training camp.
I believe so.
Today's what, the 18th as we're recording this? And the first game is like the 27th, so we're 9 days away.
We're getting close, man.
Dude, it's crazy to think. Crazy to think how close we actually are. We've actually got some breaking stuff to start with, though, first.
Yes, we do.
Stuff that just broke over the last couple hours.
It's
Big
not
Z's going back to the island.
Yeah. Lou Lamoriello decided that he wanted to create a really old hockey team.
Andy Green, Zach Parise, Zdeno Chara. Andy Green's still there, isn't he?
I believe so.
Jeez.
Let me see. Let me make sure.
We don't know the details on his contract yet because Cap Friendly doesn't have that yet, but it's a year-long deal.
Yeah.
It's just for
probably
this
gonna
year.
Be like similar to what he just.
That was $795. So if it's not league min, it'll probably be around that same hit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll probably find out by next show. And obviously you guys can all look it up. Cap Friendly's freaking
July 17th,
godsend.
Andy Green signed a 1-year, $1 million team. So
he is extended. So he's coming back.
I need to see an Andy Green Zdeno Chara pairing just for one game.
Please.
Just see a really, really old defensive pairing.
Just to see how slow they are.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I think that's nice that he's going back to it's nice that he's going back to the team that originally drafted him like the year before I was born.
Right.
So that's kind of fun.
The team that traded him away along with the second overall pick for Alexei Yashin.
Oh, the Yashin deal. Like, obviously.
It's a good thing the second overall pick didn't end up being that good. Only ended up being Jason Spezza.
Right. He's so washed now.
Do you think they regret that deal?
Oh, they have to. Especially because they chose Wade Redden.
I was being
Chara.
sarcastic.
No, but like, think about it. Because there was the other deal where they sent Chara to Boston and chose Wade Redden over Chara.
Right. I was talking about the Islanders.
Oh, the Islanders probably regret that. They regret Lou.
Yeah.
Like, if we're actually thinking about this.
Here's how they do it, okay? Imagine this. They select Roberto Luongo. They keep him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, instead of drafting Rick DiPietro first overall, they draft Danny Heatley. And imagine they keep the second overall. They could have had Spezza. They wouldn't have had Alfredson, but they could have had Spezza and Heatley. And Luongo. And Chara.
Oh my God.
They could have had a good chunk of that 2007 Senators team that made it to the final and lost to Anaheim. They would have had Chara, Spezza, Heatley. But
No, because Chara, was Chara not in Boston by then? I think he was in Boston.
You might be right. You might be right. That may have been the year that he went to.
That was his first year as a Bruin.
Yes, that was his first year in Boston. That's right.
And we got some kind of excess Boston news to talk about later. Something just kind of small. But yeah, I think that's going to be good for Z. Gets to go back to where it all started. I mean, he is he knows his role at this point.
Yeah, it's more of a fun headline and
yeah,
talking point than an actual like hockey thing.
I
Like,
know. I found out
it's
like
fun, the idea of like, oh, Zdeno Chara back in the island, but like, I mean, how significant is it?
yeah, I was on my way home just going through my notifications, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, no freaking way. It's wild. Um the other, like, let's just get this out of the way because it was the other signing that I saw. Um Kailer Yamamoto got his deal done.
Mhm.
I'm trying to put it in my notes now, but that, I mean, locked up their other big RFA in Edmonton, 1.175.
Yeah,
Good deal.
they're kind of kicking the can down the line a little bit there, but I mean, it keeps them around for another year under contract, and we'll see how
This,
he
I
does
mean,
this
it's a
year.
show me deal.
Yeah, a little bit. It's interesting because like it felt like to me like Yamamoto was supposed to really break out this year as someone who was going to play with McDavid and Draisaitl,
And that turned
and
into
it Pugliarvi.
Pugliarvi stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure Yamo still played with Dry when Draisaitl anchored the second line, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, they were hoping that he was a guy that was going to really break out in the first line. He looked like he had a lot of potential. He still does, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he definitely didn't have the season that they were hoping for. But that was made up for by Pugliarvi playing as well as he did.
Yeah. Um, and it's nice to see U.S.A. like grow into what we thought he was going to be. Now we just got to hope the same for Kailer, especially for everybody else that we know that's an Oilers fan.
Yeah. Well, at least, hey man, I mean, they got their guy. They got Zach Hyman
Yeah, they did get their big winger in Hyman.
at a very, very hefty
Steep
price
price.
and long term.
Well, he's definitely like, he's not a flashy guy, Hyman,
No,
but he
I
does
mean
what.
they don't really need any more flash,
No,
but
between the two-headed monster, they don't really need that, but they need a guy that can supplant more like of just the two-way forechecking defensive play, and that's exactly what Zach Hyman does.
and you can put the puck in the net too. I like it a lot. I like
He,
Zach Hyman on the Oilers. What I don't like is the contract.
right. I mean, we saw it with Toronto. We saw it with Steve's brilliant descriptions. He eats pucks.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of want to see that happen with Yamo this year. Like, Yamo's got the skill in order to be a flashier guy, but I want to see Kailer Yamamoto turn into a two-way threat.
Yeah. I agree.
But a good deal nonetheless. Looks like Kenny's still got a little bit of chops. Right?
Yeah.
Kenny Holland is just
I don't know how much
humming
credit I want to
along.
give. I don't know how much credit I want to give to Ken Holland for a 1-year deal to an RFA that didn't really have that great of a year. Like, I would hope he'd be able to pull off a deal like this.
Still a little over $1 million.
Yeah.
I wish I would be making that kind of money.
Oh, that'd be great. You can get new glasses.
Yeah, I know. I could get 5 pairs of new glasses at least.
Yeah,
Probably-
nice pair of prescription sunglasses too.
Probably
And
buy out my optometrist's whole office.
probably.
Some rough, we're turning right into the rough territory now. Just kind of trying to fly through things. So the Olympic Committee rejected the suspension request for Stan Bowman.
Oh.
So they're not going to suspend him as the U.S. general manager.
Alrighty then.
They just said no, which I don't know who that looks back poorly more on, Because I mean, Stan Bowman's essentially still like covering this whole sexual abuse case up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we haven't really heard anything except for ridiculous regular PR stuff.
Right.
From
Which
Bowman.
is all they're going to give to us at this point.
Right. Until we actually, get to something further. But who knows? Which I think that's going to taint the U.S. team just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I have no expectations for the U.S. team anyway, but it definitely it makes it even worse. Like,
it puts them in a bad light, but I mean, like, Stan Bowman, I think, can still do a good job constructing the team and doing his GM job, but having him still be the guy doesn't look good.
it doesn't sit well with anybody. And it really shouldn't.
No. Okay, so you're the IOC, right?
Okay.
And you make the actual decision. Yes, we are going to suspend Stan Bowman. Who replaces him? This is hypothetical.
Okay. Yeah. Here's a question I've always had, and this might sound like a dumb question. Do you have to be American to be the GM?
I mean, it looks better.
It looks better, but like, I mean, I remember like going back to, I think 2014, like, I'm trying to think here. You remember Ted Nolan?
Oh God, do I?
He was the head coach of Team Latvia in 2014.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a perfect timing.
It really was.
That was beautiful timing.
I was praying nobody would be able to hear that, but of course.
That's
couldn't
wonderful.
Hit the mute button fast enough.
Well, it's like, because he was such a poor coach in Buffalo that basically started ruining Rasmus Ristolainen.
Yeah, he was kind of like the beginning of it, for sure. But my point here, like, sorry about all that. My point was, he was the head coach of Team Latvia. He's not Latvian, he's Canadian. So, like, if you're Team US, are you like all in on the idea that the GM has to be American?
I think if you're Team USA, well, because Gerard Gallant's their coach, right? Shit. I know I'm like I'm trying to stall just a little bit. Gerard Gallant is also Canadian. He's from the island. So I guess you don't have to.
So you have a Canadian, yeah. So like, I mean, if you're looking at it and you don't need to be from the same country, like you could just have someone
so
like Julien Brisebois be your.
You could have Brisebois, which would probably.
I mean, he wouldn't even have to worry about the cap. He wouldn't even have to worry about the cap. He doesn't even have to have like Brent Seabrook on his roster to make sure that he's cap compliant.
Hell, he doesn't worry about that now.
He doesn't really worry about it. He just finds like all the loopholes.
He finds just enough loopholes. And then they print t-shirts that say X amount of millions over.
Yeah.
God, they've really turned into a heel in Tampa, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, this is just not a good look for Team USA. And for the IOC, frankly, to say, no, we're not going to do this.
Mm-hmm. It's not a good look at all. It's really disappointing.
Yeah, it's ugh. And speaking of disappointing, did you watch Evander Kane's interview with Linda Cohn?
I didn't. I heard that it was going to happen, and I was interested, and then I
just did before we started recording this.
Tell me about it.
So it's your normal like Inside Edition style one-on-one interview, right? And she's asking all the right things. She's doing her job, right? And Kane, I could just tell looking at his face that he didn't mean a single fucking word.
Really?
Like when she deliberately straight up asked, did you bet on NHL games? Like what your, ex-wife is saying. And he straight up just said no. And you could tell on his face when he was trying to like deflect things and he was giving the most diplomatic answers. And it was just the weird.
It's a very, very PR oriented move by Kane to go.
Extreme PR. And what rubbed me the wrong way about it was towards the end of it. It was like, it's an 8-minute interview or like 6 minutes with like, 2 minutes of bumper time, whatever. What rubbed me the wrong way watching the video was that about 6 minutes in, he starts bringing the racial inequality stuff into it. Like he said, I'm a black hockey player in a white sport.
Yeah, he is. But that doesn't really have to do with gambling.
Yeah, exactly. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about in this interview.
Here's the thing that really sucks for him is like he's done a good job, at least in the community, in terms of creating awareness of some of the issues that black hockey players face. And then he does this, and it just like his points, that everything that he said about those things, they still stand. They still make sense. They're still true. But it takes really credibility away from him. Like it's not good to have him be the face of it.
Yeah, it makes it all moot, right? It's just
it's hard for some people who don't understand it to take it seriously when he's the face of it.
Right. I think if you're going to do this, if you're going to try to spread the diversity angle of things, you need a guy who isn't, in this kind of a bad light off the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need we've seen it with like Evan Fitzhugh and JT Brown going to be a part of the broadcast crew for the Kraken. If you're going to do the Hockey Diversity Alliance thing, don't let Kane be the guy that goes out and, speaks for everything. Let that be like, I don't know, Matt Dumba or Ryan Reeves.
Dumba, Subban.
Yeah, Subban would be perfect for that.
He would be great for it. I mean, early on in his career when he was like really good, a lot of people didn't like him, but I think over the years people really started to love him a little bit. I think it really PK. I think it really helped when he went to Nashville because being on the Canadiens, like
there's so much
definitely
pressure
have
there.
more of a target. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like the second he went to Nashville, more and more people like really started warming up to him. He'd be great for it.
Exactly. And he's got enough of like a fire to him, but enough like, I don't know how to say it. Not swag or not like, he's got enough. I mean, you see it in his smile, I guess. Like he's more genuine.
He's a very genuine.
That's what I was looking for.
It's as far as like say whatever we want about him on the ice, at least at this point in his career. Most objective people like him off the ice and can see that he's a very genuine person.
Oh yeah.
I think he'd be great to be the face of just about anything that you want to push.
Dude, I would love to just meet him and just like get a beer with him, Yeah,
exactly. Like, he's one of those guys.
And then Kane is he's got so much
he just
garbage
has too much
that
around him. He
follows him around.
Yeah. Is it like it'd be, this isn't it, It'd be one thing if this was the first thing that came out.
And I mean, he talked like we've mentioned this multiple times talking about Kane and the ongoing investigation and everything, that it is a sickness. Gambling's a sickness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said it himself in the interview. Like, he was like, just like drugs or alcohol, gambling is a sickness. And I know that I have this and it's a problem and I need to work on this. So at least he's trying to own up for it. But at the same time, it's like, it's just such a PR interview video.
Yeah.
Like, you got to watch it. It's just,
Yeah.
it felt weird to me.
Right. I'll definitely check it out, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention as far as the allegations are concerned of him actually betting on games. It's very much going to be taken the way that most things should be taken, where you are innocent until you're proven guilty. We don't know if he did. We don't know.
Right.
So I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that he did, but regardless, it doesn't really matter. He's a lot of money in debt. He has a gambling problem.
500
it is a sickness.
Something thousand plus just on the gambling debts.
I hope he gets better, but at the end of the day, this is still going to be going on. This is not the last time we're going to talk about this, and I just hope that they get it solved soon.
It's just, I'm getting tired of talking about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But like, hopefully this is the last we hear about it until his ex-wife says something. Yeah. Speaking of, I believe this is the last like heavy thing. So and I guess this kind of turns it back into a better light in terms of just the vibe of the show. Montreal started a consent and respect action plan. Good.
That's a good thing.
That's all I have to say about it is good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know all the details about it. I never really read up on it or anything, which I probably should have. Honestly,
it's smart for them to do. Like,
if I had more time to do like actual reading and research, then I would have.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got lives outside of this. I work 2 jobs. And then I got to deal with the timing of making this thing and how many technical difficulties we go through.
We'd love to we both would love to do a million different things, but we just can't, but
yeah, if I had time to read up on it, then yeah.
I'm glad that they're doing it. They should do it.
And Logan Mailloux, God willing, is going to take part in it.
Yeah. It's definitely something that they felt that they needed to do for obviously PR reasons, but it's still a good thing that they're doing it.
Yeah, it's like,
I wish more teams would do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it's not just...
It's something that every team should do.
Obviously, this is centered around the Mailloux pick, but it's not entirely because of... Well, I don't know if I'd go that far.
It kind of is entirely because
it more or less is.
It's very much a PR move. But at the end of the day, like, it's a situation where we can sit back and be like, oh, this is total PR. But at the same time, like,
it's a good thing to do. Yeah.
So, I mean, look, if this one pick of Logan Mailloux results in all 32 National Hockey League teams developing one of these camps to teach these players about this, I mean, it might not be the worst thing in the world. You know what I mean?
Even if it's just like, it doesn't even have to be a camp. It just has to be like, maybe, I don't know, a week-long seminar type of thing. Like, go to class.
Yeah.
For this, right?
Yeah. To have people around the building that you can talk to, have any questions, whatnot. Like, it's always important for people to learn about things like this. And no matter how much you think you know, you don't know everything. So even if you feel like you are good with it, it's never a bad idea to learn more.
And it's never a bad idea to get refreshers on it either. Like, if you're not sure of anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, good on the Habs for that. We got a Heritage Classic on our hands this season.
Yeah, we do. Not too
It's
far from me.
right. Yeah, I wonder if you'll be able to
Everybody.
go.
Well, my three roommates all came to me and they're like, "Yo, we could go to that." And I was like, "Okay, two things. First of all,
Funny.
it's gonna be fucking freezing outside.
Yeah, that too.
It's the Leafs. That is going to be absurdly expensive.
Yeah. I was
I
gonna
would
say
much rather
because
watch it
okay.
in the warmth and comfort of my room.
Okay, so let's get into this. So it's Leafs and Sabres, which
is weird for a Heritage Classic.
Yeah, I don't know why they picked
the
Sabres. Like, I feel like the Habs or the Sens would have been a lot better of a pick.
Yep. Hell, anybody from Canada would have been.
Yeah, any of the other like 6 remaining teams.
Yeah, like
Leafs Vancouver would have been fun, like
I mean,
cross country. Like,
if you're even gonna do like an American team, wouldn't you want to do the Bruins?
yeah, wouldn't you want to pick like another original 6 team? Like,
yeah, like a rival. Instead, they're like, you know what? Heritage Classic, national TV.
Hamilton, Ontario.
Pick a team we could beat. Let's pick a team we could beat.
Let's pick a team we could easily beat.
Get the Sabres in there.
It's on March 13th, 2022. So set your calendars aside for that. What day does that fall on? Do you know?
I love that you asked me that.
Because you don't?
It just, I don't even know what today is. I wouldn't know what today is. I wouldn't know it today as if it weren't for college football.
If it weren't for college football and doing this.
Yeah.
March 13th is on a Sunday.
Which makes sense that they would do it on a Sunday.
I guess. I don't know. I really don't know in terms of like what days are like the best for TV ratings or people going.
Well, you would want to do it on the weekend. You're not going to do it on a Monday.
Well, yeah,
Tuesday,
sure, a
Wednesday,
weekend
or Thursday. Yeah, if it's in the middle of the day, it would probably be a Saturday or something.
You know what would have made it fun?
What?
Make it hockey night in Canada on Saturday night.
True.
Like that would have been really fun, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Like specifically bring the hockey night crew in on this and make it a whole big thing. Especially because it's Hamilton, because the league's been trying to do shit in Hamilton for the last 2 decades. Right? Like the Penguins almost moved to Hamilton before Sid and Flower and Gino.
Well, I thought they were going to move to Kansas City.
The rumors were Hamilton a long time ago.
Oh.
At least from what I've heard listening to podcasts and things. Kansas City might have been another option, but like Hamilton was one.
I thought it was, yeah. But either
Hamilton,
way, they were going to move.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. Wish they would have.
Until those big 3 showed up.
Source of all my pain.
Big hire by the Coyotes. Out of Boston, John Ferguson Jr. is now their assistant general manager.
Yeah, I'm surprised he moved from Boston to them, unless he feels like maybe he's like the next GM in waiting in Arizona, but I don't see that being.
I don't know about that.
So I don't know. It was kind of it wasn't even a lateral move because it's like Boston's here, Arizona's here, so he's just But unless he wants to be a part of a rebuild,
or he wants to like pull a Mark Messier and aim for a hostile takeover.
Yeah, I guess that could happen too. You never know.
Do you think that's gonna happen in New York? Like
no.
Messier going to try to coach this team? Wait, now they have Gallant, so that's not gonna happen now.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I could see Moose being like an assistant. That'd be fun.
He could be, but Gallant's a good coach. So
I just think it's funny how how do you think Leaf fans feel about that now? Because it's like he was the source
John Ferguson Jr.
Yeah, because like he was the source of the Tuca trade, and like those dark early 2000s days, like after they stopped actually contending, and then he goes to Boston,
Look, I'm not saying they'd have a Stanley Cup if they had Tuukka Rask. I don't know if they would. They'd have at least one playoff series win.
Yeah.
With this core if they had Tuukka Rask.
Oh yeah. We were hoping that they would get that with Freddie, right? Because Freddie played out of his mind over there.
Except in, series deciding games.
Right. But that was also, 2 of those were probably Jake Gardner's fault.
Wasn't much helping either of them.
No.
Also didn't help that the other one that he lost against Columbus, they didn't score a goal.
Oh.
All the money they spent on those forwards couldn't score a goal. John Tavares hit a goal post with a wide open net.
Right.
And, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's very tough. I just noticed that we have like no actual Jackets news in this.
No, they haven't done anything
other than El Vesna.
Yeah.
Which, please, let's get that going this year.
Let's do it.
Please, hashtag El Vesna. Use it all season long. Getting back into this. Oh yeah. I was listening to Bill Daly on 31 now 32 Thoughts today. Because I think they officially changed the name. They just haven't like changed the art or anything. He said that basically when the season starts, they are expecting fewer than 15 players in the entire league to be unvaxxed.
Fewer than 15.
Well, one of
Damn.
those. Fewer than 15, yeah. How much you want to bet Tony DeAngelo's on that list?
No, he's not.
That's right, because aren't the
Because Hurricanes are at 100%. Yeah. I would have loved for that to happen because that would have been an incredible situation. But because
it's just like
I'll give him credit for it. I mean, like, he got the vaccine, didn't say any words about it, and I mean, he's the guy I think that understands that he needs to try and recreate his image in the public.
Yeah, for sure.
Repair it, and this is a big year for him. It's really, most players on a 1-year deal.
This is like his 5th fresh start.
It is like most players though, like when you have like a 1-year deal, it's a 1-year prove it deal. You're trying to get a bigger and better contract next year by showing I'm a good hockey player. Like I'm playing hockey. This is completely different for him. It's not it's not about how he plays this year.
No, because they know how he plays and he plays well.
He's a good offensive defenseman. Everybody knows who he is.
Oh yeah.
This year is not about the hockey. It's about everything else he does.
It's about image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that Evander Kane should strive for. I don't mean to shit on Evander again, but I mean, come on. Like.
Yeah. Evander Kane needs to be more like Tony DeAngelo.
I don't know if I'd say that. There's a headline for the podcast.
That'd be hilarious to say, so.
Oh my God, you got me with that. But yeah, so Daly comes out and he says, yeah, we're expecting less than 15 to be unvaxxed by the time we start, which is almost perfect.
Yeah. I wonder who the players are.
It's about as good as we're going to get.
I mean, it's really good.
It works for sure. So who knows how that's going to affect like travel visas and things like that, especially going across border now.
It's not even just about like who doesn't get it. Who's going to be the most notable player who doesn't get it.
Yeah, I wonder.
Because it's like we don't know yet, but that's going to come out, and when it does, we're going to end up talking about it, and that's going to be an interesting thing.
That's going to be a huge headline.
Because like. I don't know how he feels about it, and I'm not assuming anything, but like let's just say for the sake of argument that like a player like Austin Matthews doesn't get it, doesn't want it. Like a player of that caliber.
Yes, let's say.
Then it's like, oh my God, what do we do?
Well, because
you know what I mean?
Because there was on the polar opposite of that. So Kaprizov got a vaccine,
Mhm.
right? But it was this Russian.
Did they just
developed...
like shoot like vodka into him?
That'd be hilarious.
It's just like a whole like syringe full of vodka. They just put him in there. He's like, I'm good.
It's the absolute vaccine.
Oh yeah, at the absolute vaccine.
But the thing is, they're not counting his vax.
Is it just because it's not?
I don't know if it's because it's not FDA. No, it's because it's not World Health Organization approved.
Okay.
So it's an international thing.
That's interesting. I never thought about that. That becomes interesting because I wonder if any other Russian players have gotten it.
Right, gotten the same one that he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't know enough about their vaccines, but I mean, it's a vaccine. Like, I'd have to assume like it was at least good enough that he felt comfortable taking it.
Right, and he's coming to camp one way or another.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all, vax rates, at least for this league, really good right now. And at least the expectations are good. So yeah. Another thing from 32, I gotta try to keep saying that now. 32 thoughts.
Just 31 thoughts sounds so good. Like, it just works.
I know.
You hear it, and now it's 32 thoughts. You're like, ew.
Yeah, it's like say because 31 is just one of those numbers that like flows out of your mouth better.
Yeah, it does. 32 thoughts. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Thoughts. It's like very broken.
Yeah.
You know what
31
I mean?
thoughts. And then 30. Oh, yeah.
I know.
This might be one of the dumbest tangents we've ever had. We talked for like just a minute about how stupid 32 thoughts sounds. Go ahead. What were we going to say?
No, and I mean, I love what Marek and Friedman do all the time, and Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love listening to that show. Especially now that they're like in Chicago for media days and stuff, and like doing in-person interviews. It's great. But basically another thing that I heard, I don't know if this is more or less like a rumor or whatever, something I saw from Friedman. So Brady's not as close as we thought.
Okay.
Is essentially what it is. And the you want to hear the source for this?
Eugene Melnick.
No.
No, that would have been hilarious.
No.
Who's the source? Who's the source?
The source is probably one of the most reliable sources we could get. Matthew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
So
what did Matthew say?
Basically, I mean, just according to Matthew, Tkachuk talks between Dorian and Brady and his, representation, they're not close.
I mean, I bet the conversation was like pretty simple. Like, Brady probably went to Pierre and probably wanted an 8x8. And Pierre was probably like, that seems relatively reasonable. Let me see if I can talk to Eugene. And then he came back and he was like, all we have is $7.
God, Eugene Melnick. Ugh.
I mean, I don't know. Because here's the thing. Like, this is a situation. I always try to be as fair as possible with Pierre Dorian because I think that he's done a pretty
Pierre
good job
does such a good job.
The circumstances. Yes. And it feels to me like he's not the kind of guy who is going to ever be afraid to shell out the money to a player as a GM. The problem is he's got the internal cap of dealing with Eugene Melnick.
And
Eugene makes his job a million times harder. Yeah.
It's just, it's like, you ever just like lay down late at night and it's, I don't know, like midnight or something. And
think about Eugene Melnick?
No, and just all of a sudden, like, let's say you're going through like a night where there's like a thunderstorm or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And just out of nowhere, you just get a really terrible tension headache.
Usually I'm not in bed by 12.
That's fair.
But no, I usually don't get headaches. But like, I'll hear you out. Let's see what you have to say.
Think about how a tension headache feels, right?
Yeah, it's rough. Rarely get them, but they're rough.
It's awful. Eugene Melnyk is Pierre Dorian's tension headache.
Trying to think. What would I? Okay, let me ask you this: have you ever been forced to put a toothpick under your toenail and then kick a wall once a day? That's kind of what I feel like. It's probably like working with Eugene Melnyk.
Okay.
The good thing about doing that, though, is you don't feel your headache anymore.
Thanks for that lovely image. Oh, God, I wonder how many clips we're going to get out of this episode. I need to actually, that's the thing is with I need a new computer so bad.
Yeah.
Better space, maybe just an external hard drive or something. Because with the space that I have just doing this show, I have to, every time we come back to do a new episode, I have to delete all the files from the previous one just to make room.
Here's a weird question. Okay. When you were at Bowling Green, when you took a shower, did the water ever get really hot when someone flushed the toilet?
In Kreischer, it might have.
Okay.
Because
that happened to me my first 2 years.
That was one of the older dorms. That was like the oldest dorm, essentially.
Yeah. See, Pierre Dorian is just trying to take a shower, and Eugene keeps flushing the toilet for no reason.
That's a bit of a better image. It's like college punk. Like, is Brady worth 8 times 8 though? Because what is?
He's not. He's not at this point. But I mean, if you're Pierre, it might not be the worst avenue to take if you feel like 3 years down the line he's going to be worth more than $8 million. It depends on how you value the player.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. I'd give him similar to what PLD just got from the Blue Jackets before getting traded. I'd give him 2 times 10. And then he's not 10 million a year. 2 years, 10 million, and then first year 3.5, second year 6.5,
and then he's gonna go out there and not try. And then behind closed doors is going to ask for a trade to Calgary. And then Matthew and Brady finally get to play together.
Even funnier, Matthew gets traded for Brady.
Oh, no! Dude, I think Matthew would legit punch Melnyk in the face.
Yeah, probably. That would solve a lot of problems in Ottawa, though.
Yeah. Well, no,
maybe that's what Brady needs to do to get an extension. He just needs to punch Eugene Melnyk and punch Eugene. Then they'll give him 8 years, 8.5. Give him the extra money for his troubles.
It just turns into like a Jake Paul style boxing match between Brady and Melnyk.
Yeah.
That would lead ESPN. That would fucking, oh my God.
Do a rough and rowdy.
Do a rough and rowdy Brady Tkachuk and Eugene Melnyk.
And it's the equivalent of a Jake Paul fight. It's a guy who's somewhat okay at fighting someone who has no business being in the ring.
Right.
And then making a bunch of money off of it. And people are like, whoa, is he a good fighter? And it's like, no, he just beat up fucking Nate Robinson, who's like 40 and is like 5 feet tall and hasn't played in the NBA in a while.
Last thing on Huge before we move on, because this is just something that blows my mind. He's a lot younger than I thought he was.
How old is he?
He's like 60.
Oh he's like 60. Poor people have to deal with
he's like 60. He's like 62, 63, something like that.
Oh my God. I thought this dude was like 70.
Dude, he looks like he's nearing 80.
He looks like shit.
Yeah, he looks like, okay, so you know how Lou Lamoriello is 78? He looks more his age.
Yeah.
Eugene looks about as old as Lou Lamoriello does.
Yeah.
Like, because I
And you know
remember
what the difference is? One of them's good at their job.
Very true. Speaking at good at your job, Connor McDavid. He's okay at his job.
He gets the job done most of the time.
Goes out there, does his thing.
He tries hard.
All the time. Do you remember the
play good locker room guy?
Yeah. Do you remember that play where he just went down the boards and like kind of pushed even his teammates out of the way, just like go, and then just went.
Which one? He has about 70 goals in his
career. He does have about 70 like that, doesn't he? I think I'm thinking of the one against OEL.
Is that the one where he like just takes the puck and skates 40 miles an hour past everybody and just
and he literally
stupid.
Even pushed his own teammates out of the way, like passed it to himself off the boards and shit.
Bring stiff arming into hockey.
Dude, we've already had elbows.
I'm a big fan of the stiff arm, man. Could you imagine just like one arm protecting the puck and you just give a good old fashioned stiff arm Frank Gore style, then going behind the net and just making a pass like that? God, that'd be awesome. Like I want to see more of that.
Yeah. Anyway, so actually, what I wanted to talk about with McDavid, it's rare you see this from like your number one guy. Like Crosby complained, and when he was younger, and it sounded a lot more like whining. But candidly and firmly, Connor McDavid came and spoke out about the playoff officiating.
That's terrible.
Dude, in the most recent games that he was in, he got completely mauled, and there were like 10 chances for them to call a penalty. Exactly 10, if I remember the number correctly. Right? None of them got called.
Yeah. And you can't be the best player in the world and not get any of those calls. Like, I'm sorry, you just can't. Could you imagine could you imagine in the NBA finals, if let's say the Lakers are playing in the NBA finals, LeBron doesn't get one free throw in a game.
Right.
What?
It's like, no, you can't see that.
That doesn't happen. Like, so it's the weirdest thing.
Imagine it. I don't know much about soccer, but like, imagine a match where Ronaldo doesn't get any penalty kicks or something. Like, what I mean?
Like he does. Yeah. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And here's the thing, like
the fact that Connor McDavid is finally saying something.
What do we as fans always say about the officiating that we just want the most?
Consistency.
Yes.
Between regular season and playoffs,
yes,
we need
because it's like
some sort of consistency.
The second the playoffs begin, what happens? Oh, they're swallowing the whistles.
And it's not just that; it's like they have 2 rule books printed, and one of them is literally just like 2 pieces of loose leaf paper shredded up. And that's the playoff rule book.
Yeah, exactly. The rule book for the regular season is gigantic.
It's this big encyclopedia thing, like this big.
Yes. And then,
what's
playoff officiating? There's not even a rule book. It's literally just the meme of Patrick sitting down with the
board across his face.
On his head, and he's just like,
that meme where it's like my knowledge of a certain subject, and it's like all the way up. The book is like this big, and then it's when I try to, and then it's all shrunken down like this.
It's like things for school, like things that are important.
Things from school and useless knowledge. It's like that's exactly how regular season and playoff officiating is, and everybody's tired of it.
Yeah, the players are tired of it. The fans are tired of it. The teams are tired of it. I'd have to imagine the officials are tired of it. Hearing it.
Personally, I'm okay with a little bit of tougher leeway of a game in the playoffs. Like, I think we all would be, right?
Yes.
Let some things go more often than not.
But the gap shouldn't be significant. Like it
Right.
should be tolerance in the regular season, tolerance in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Instead, it's like tolerance in the regular season, tolerance in the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's like
I can't remember anything.
I probably should have reversed those, but you know what I mean. Like
I can't remember anything like word for word from Connor because he's just not that quotable.
He's not.
Let's be frank.
I wish he would be. I wish One Star would just like really say it as it is. It would be so great for this league if someone like just went out to the media and was like, "Yeah, these refs are dog shit." That would be amazing.
Ovi would do something like that.
Yeah, it would be hilarious.
Yeah, just see Ovi like
dog shit.
Refs are dog shit.
You know who would do it? Not even just Ovi. You know who would really do it though?
Who would?
Gino.
Yes. Oh my god. I'm
refs dog shit.
No, you know what I want to see? Combined podium with Ovi and Gino, just shitting all over the referees.
Oh, it'd be amazing. I don't know why that would ever be a circumstance, but I kind of need that in my life.
Dude, media day for like round 2 or something. Like just put them together for
have them whatever. Like face off like a McGregor fight, like the preview for it, where they're just like looking at each other. It's just Gino and Ovi like staring at each other like there's only 2 things we agree on. It's like what vodka we like and refs dog shit.
Do you think they even like the same vodka?
I mean, probably like
vodka's vodka to them anyway.
Yeah,
it's just like it doesn't fucking matter.
It's like water, man.
Yeah,
like water.
But yeah, it's good to see Connor speak up about it, especially because he's the face of your league right now. And for the
they need to market him better.
That's they do, and it's such a shame.
He's literally the Mike Trout of hockey.
It's the craziest thing. Ugh.
There's no reason a player as good as he is should be as unrecognizable to casual fans. Like most people, you could be a person who hasn't watched a second of basketball in your entire life.
And you know who LeBron is. Yeah, and you know who Steph
be
Curry
someone
is.
who does.
You know who Kevin Durant is.
You cannot watch any football. You know who Tom Brady is.
Oh, totally. You know who Aaron Rodgers is.
If
you know who Zeke Elliott is.
You've never watched a second of hockey in your life. You have no fucking clue who Connor McDavid is.
Right. And that's
you don't watch any baseball in your life. You have no clue who Mike Trout is.
It's just
wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup unless you got lucky and guessed.
Yeah.
That needs to change.
It absolutely needs to change. Now, quick comparison before I move on to the next thing. Are McDavid and Draisaitl the equivalent to Trout and Ohtani right now?
Yes.
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 Yes. Like, I don't even know if there needs to be a discussion. This is literally yes.
No, exactly. Like Draisaitl is Shohei. Like seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nothing against Leon at all. And that's nothing against Shohei. It's just Mike Trout and Connor McDavid are right there.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, no. Shohei's probably going to win AL MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
Leon's won MVP before. Like they're both unbelievable
tight,
talents.
Though, isn't it? Like Vladdy's like right there.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing, though. Like it's the fair comparison because it's like, oh my God, these 2 generational talents: Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl,
and they're both getting.
Oh my God! Look at the rest of those teams.
Yeah, and they're both getting completely wasted. Like just
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is Anthony Rendon.
I can see that.
You know.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, because those 2 are so good in their own right, but that's literally like the next best thing they have, and they're great players, Nuge and Rendon. But between the 3 of them on either side, how are you unable to build a team around all 3 of them? Pick the Angels, pick
You'd
the Oilers.
think
How are
it'd
you
be
able to do
easy.
that? Yeah.
You'd think that you'd be able to figure it out. You'd be able to like luck into it.
Exactly. God, I don't know. I just want to see Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in further than the fucking first round.
Yeah. And I'd like to see Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani in the playoffs.
Yes, please
They won't
just
even
get them
sniff
to
it.
the playoffs. Like
They
they
won't even sniff it, man. Like it's ridiculous.
It's crazy. Anyway, we got off on a like comparison tangent, as we do with most things.
I mean, we get on a bunch of stupid tangents. We
We
literally
get
had a
on
2-minute
so many
tangent about 32 thoughts and how stupid it sounds.
Bill Daly again.
Yeah.
He's been saying a lot of things, which is
Yeah,
great.
man.
It's good to hear, like, because you never hear anything from Gary except for lawyer speak.
Yeah, lawyer speak, you know, PR things on TV.
Bill Daly will actually give you information.
He does.
Which is
I'll give him that credit.
Yeah. Colin Campbell doesn't give you jack shit either. Let's be frank.
Frankly, he does nothing for me.
Yeah. But Bill Daly, again, another interview. Well, 32 thoughts. Same thing. Because, I mean, I got most of this from the episode.
Here we are again.
I know.
What'd he say? What'd he say, Jake?
Preach, Marek, we love you, first of all. But Daly said that he expects the cap starting next summer, so the summer of 2022. He expects the cap to go up by $1 million each year for the next few years. I don't know how long that's going to go, but we are finally going to get a cap, ceiling increase.
Yeah, I like that. I hope it doesn't happen though.
Why?
I hope it's delayed just a little bit.
Why?
So the Penguins are in more trouble.
Oh.
So teams in our division that are really good have to make tough decisions while we're sitting back like, we're fine.
Yeah. We got money to spend.
Yeah, we're good over here, man.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so starting next summer, we're going to get an increase in cap by $1 million for, I would say, at least the next 4 years. And then maybe, depending on where we're at,
cap
by then, like, it'll go up and incrementally more, hopefully. As
hopefully
it
really starts to go up as the Blue Jackets start to get good again.
That's true. Yeah. We can finally start bringing people in.
Mm-hmm. Not even just that, just keeping the guys we already have.
That too, yeah.
Give that give that good, nice, big 8-year contract to Elvis after he wins the Vezina this year.
After El Vezina.
Yeah, and you already got Z locked up.
Z's locked.
Lock up Oakfist in a couple years.
Voracek's in. Oliver's locked.
You'll have to lock up Line A.
I mean, he's got to bounce back first. Yeah.
Depending on how you feel about him after this year, we'll have to see.
It's
a big year for him. It's a huge year.
I love Patty. Like, we got to keep a guy like him because we need that scoring touch again.
We do. But we need him to score.
Yeah, that's it. He needs to score. Vegas signed one of their guys. I don't know. I closed my tab on Cap Friendly, so if you want to look up Dylan Coghlan, he signed.
Didn't he have a hat trick last year in a game?
That was his first game. He scored his first goal, and then he turned it into a hat trick. And he's a D-man.
I love that for him.
That's beautiful. What a story. He signed a 2-year contract, and again, if you would, for money reasons.
Let's see.
And I think it's good because he's like, at this point, he's a depth guy for him, but he might be able to show 3-4 potential
average annual value of $762,500.
$725. That's cheap as hell.
762.
762.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So a little
Which
over.
I like.
Yeah.
It's the $500 that get you.
Yeah. I'd like another 500 if somebody wouldn't mind.
I like 500.
Yeah.
Go to the roulette table, turn it into more than 500, or turn it into 0, depending on how you do.
Just don't go over and over and over again like Evander.
I knew that was coming. In fairness, I don't think he was betting with $500.
No, he was
betting with a lot more. Yeah.
He was betting with mills on the line, like, oh. But yeah, I like the signing. Good depth guy for the blue line in Vegas. And again, like I said, he could turn into a 3-4.
Yeah. He is a defenseman.
He's a body.
Insight.
Yeah, he's a body.
You're welcome for my contributions.
I know. Where would this show be without you? I mean, you're
Jay, what do you think of the signing? He's a defenseman.
He's good. I mean, that's why
defenseman, right-hand shot.
He is a right-handed shot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, the coveted right-handed shot.
Yeah. Best job in hockey, where you make like $1 million or $2 million more than you really should just because of your handedness.
Just right. See, this analysis is why your name is at the top of the title of the show.
Yeah, true.
This is why you're
it's not because it makes sense to have it go down in terms of total numbers.
Total letters.
Jake,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's because of your amazing analysis.
Yeah.
We're finally gonna have an in-person draft, and Montreal's gonna finally get theirs.
Yeah, it's a good thing that they're doing it next year rather than this year. Had they made that pick in front of their home fans, it would have been a wild decision.
Yeah. So yeah, the 2022 draft is finally going to be hosted at the Bell Center.
I love that for them, though. They had the most controversial pick in the draft, and the league was like, "All right, we'll give you the draft next year."
Yeah, we'll give you a mulligan on that.
What a league!
Yeah, right. It's definitely good for them. Okay, just to wrap up, I watched and I texted you about this. Did you end up watching it?
Did I watch what?
The Untold Crime and Penalties, the Trashers documentary.
I'm not.
God,
I've been far too busy for that.
God, you need to make time. Okay. You need to make time in between now and Tuesday because I really want to fucking talk about this thing.
All right. Send me a link.
It's on Netflix.
Okay. All right.
It's like a whole collection on Netflix. There's one on the Mouse at the Palace that I really got to get it watched now.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that one's really good.
I heard it's really good too. But yeah, there's a little teaser for Tuesday. A review on Untold Crime and Penalties. And then we'll see what else we have. Hopefully we've got a lot more actual news and honestly, getting closer. I can smell it.
Yeah, we're close. I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, the
you can just hear it in my voice. I am excitement.
I am excited. I am score.
I am goal.
Jackets are 2-0 in Traverse.
You know who looks really good? Jaeger.
Jaeger looks awesome.
Looks really good. It looks really good.
Cole looks great too. I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the future, man. We got a lot to be excited about.
Future's going to be great. And speaking of future, we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Oh, what a transition. Beautiful. Love y'all.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Gehringer, GARRINGER, and at by J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.